So what are some of the ways that we can challenge the players? I'm always looking for a new narrative. I'm always looking for new ideas. I'm always looking to kind of push myself out of my regular standard type of adventures and scenarios that I run. I'm looking to evolve myself as a GM. And what are some of the ways? This is the question to ask, and then I'm going to share with you an example. We have this idea of a character in the story, an idea of a character in an adventure, something like Dungeons and Dragons. It's the players themselves, the heroes of the story, and you have a class, and you have abilities and items that you collect, and this kind of plot line. What are some of the ways that this idea of a central way of telling a story or being involved in a role-playing game, what are some of the ways we can play different characters or influence a set of characters in the game? What if the main characters in the game that are normally the players, tabletop, sitting around, what if they were NPCs, non-player characters, and the actual physical characters, players in the game at your tabletop, they played an outside source, kind of an antithesis of characters? So this is an example from a recent adventure, and this idea of we were throwing a little bit of remote gameplay in, going remote, especially suited for this reason, just where we are right now. But certainly this could work actual physical tabletop, and at another point I'm gonna practice that tabletop. So we're looking at Alien the RPG as an example. And certainly if you've had a chance to play this role-playing game, or you're thinking about using this role-playing game, here's another tool for your toolkit. But again, asking the question, how could we do something like this in the systems that we enjoy playing? So Alien the RPG is set in the Alien universe, and I'm a massive fan of that universe. I love it. So the chance to play a colonial marine, a scientist, a mercenary, a terraformer, and literally take on the alien, deal with this idea of the star gods, deal with this idea of the engineers. I mean, that's absolutely irresistible, and it's a fantastic rule set. I pushed that analysis up to my RPG channel here, and we've explored it a little bit more on my blog. The link to that is under this video in the info box. But in that story, the narrative is this idea that you're a character, and you had a mission. You were terraforming somewhere. You were hauling some freight. You've been dispatched as colonial marines to check something out. And you guys know how this goes. The corporation gets involved and sidetracks you. And now, as part of your contract, if you want, equal shares, and look, we're going to talk about the bonus situation, then you suddenly have to go explore this derelict craft and deal with an alien, even though you don't know it's an alien, but some sort of alien is coming. So this idea of the corporate machinations and the corporate structure is an important part of the Alien RPG universe. The adventure that we played, this was a cinematic adventure. Alien has narrative and cinematic play. Cinematic play is high adventure, often directly fighting an alien, and it's designed to play fast in a single gaming session. So what we did using this idea of remote play, the 4 players in the game, their character, and they created a character for this, with ability scores and a personality. They were corporate players. They were corporate officers in the corporation, and they were literally in a boardroom, remote. We're zooming in, and they were directing. I was controlling the NPCs that had discovered a derelict craft. They didn't know what it was. The appropriate auto alarms went off. The mother system on the computer notified corporate headquarters, hey, we have a possible xenomorph detection, engineer detection. We're going to go in. And the players in the game were literally in this boardroom directing the NPCs, a direct interface back and forth. And as the GM, as the game master for this particular Alien RPG game, they were feeding to me how they wanted the NPCs who were exploring to act. Then I fed back the results. So there was this idea of real-time communication back and forth. And of course, in the boardroom, they had access to certain bioscans, certain computer readouts, and some advanced knowledge as they tried to direct and physically achieve the corporate goals. Now, the players were all part of a corporation, but they're looking for their own bonus structure, and they had their internal goals. They had internal goals where it was like, here's the main mission, and we want to complete it because it's worth billions to the bioweapons division. But you got to think about your quarterly bonus. So in addition to winning the mission and capturing this alien life form, if you can achieve this, and this, and this, the sub-goals for your division, you're going to get a nice bonus. So we had a little bit of rivalry, boardroom rivalry. We had a little bit back and forth. And it was a very interesting way to explore the alien mythology, not from being a colonial marine, a direct player. You're there, facing the alien, but from a very third-person point of view, safe in the corporate headquarters boardroom, issuing orders, and to explore it from that side. It was very, very unique and interesting. So I've committed myself, and we had a great time. Some players got their corporate bonus, and the losses, of course, to the company were acceptable. How can I utilize this? This is the question I'm asking now. In Dungeons & Dragons, which I also enjoy, how can I utilize it from that perspective? Instead of playing an adventurer, a rogue, a thief, a fighter, a wizard, a warrior, could you play a Lord of Waterdeep and hire on some characters and send them out? You'd create your own character sheet as a Lord of Waterdeep, but have resources to create a party and send them out. In Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, could you be a militia, in charge of a militia, or in charge of certain aspects of the court? And now, yes, politics are involved, but have that resource management where the adventurers, the heroes in the game, they're your NPC resources that you're sending out. So I'm committed to looking at some of the other systems that I enjoy and look to exploit them and play them and explore them from this very alien RPG-centric idea.